Hey y'all, what's going on? How's it going? Hi Pearly. Echo if you're still here, hi, but I know Echo said he was stopping in and then coming back later. And God Bear. Hey Josh. And anyone else that might be lurking, watching the VOD or watching this on YouTube. Yeah. Also, let me know if my audio's good last night. I went to rewatch the when I was rewatching and like putting the video together for week 3, I realized that like you couldn't hear my voice half the time. So if there's any issues hearing my voice today, please let me know. Hey Jen, hi. I totally stole your catchphrase. I totally stole it. Shamelessly just stole it. Shamelessly stole it. But hey y'all. My face is healing. Which is great. I'm feeling great about that. In fact, I might even be able to wear makeup tomorrow. It's crazy. We'll see. Anyways, the week 4 recap. Week 4. What is there to say about week 4? We had some interesting matches. We had some setup sweeping that was very unconventional. That was a lot of fun to watch and see happen. I missed a bunch of the games on Wednesday live, so like I didn't have that same live reaction and excitement that a lot of people had for some of the Wednesday matches. But we're gonna watch them here and talk about them anyways. It's just borrowing and not giving it back. You did a great job, Josh. You did a great job. I wanted to say that you and Goldoa both did an excellent job. I know Goldoa does this. He's got far more experience doing this kind of thing than either me or you do, Josh. But you did a great job, and I appreciate you covering for me. Anna, thank you for the sub, the tier 2 sub, 22-month streak. Thank you so much. Also, hi. I learned for sure her kill was 1 to 2 matches. Yeah, that voice was destroying your vocal cord. I was a little concerned. Glad you didn't do it the whole time. Anyways, take a look-see over here. We have each team's MVP from this week, at least. Someone that could be argued as the MVP. Anna, thank you so much. Thank you so much for the gift subs as always. You're so unbelievably generous. Monkey, 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 monkey. Do we have 2 alert boxes? Do we have 2 alert boxes? Or was that... We totally have 2 alert boxes. I need to turn one of them off. Yeah, I fixed it. I fixed it, okay? It's better now. It's fixed. Alright. It just got... My alerts got so excited from the 5 gift subs, it decided to do it twice. The more you know. There you go. That's the statement of the greatment of Doublemint Gum. What? What is even happening? Alright, okay, let's get into the matches. Annabelle Banna. Look up Doublemint Gum, I'll have to do that. Every week, professional streamer. I mess something up constantly. All right, the first game we're gonna talk about is Godbear versus Grand Aquila. Godbear is the perspective we're watching from, obviously. That's the Chicago Failing, who I believe are 2-1 coming into this, against Grand Aquila, who I believe is 1-2 coming into this. So let's watch and see what happens, shall we? So right off the bat, we see Grand Aquila get Hail up, and Godbear U-turns for some momentum into Manectric, who is fast and threatens out the Feraligatr. This switch was a little risky in my opinion. Godbear does Volt Switch for momentum, which, you know, is a good play. But like Manectric gets Overheat, and like this is the only electric resist on Grand Aquila's team other than Ditto. Like I suppose he could go Ditto, but in that case you'd never want to click Volt Switch But like expecting the Abomasnow switch, like Godbear easily could have had overheat, clicked overheat, and just Abomasnow's gone. So a little bit of a risky switch there. Doesn't matter now though. Godbear goes hard into Infernape, who just wants to Flare Blitz everything that exists. Picks off the Abomasnow there. Togekiss comes in, so Godbear pivots out. Makes sense because Air Slash probably finishes off the Infernape, and Togekiss is just a little too bulky to get taken down from a Flare Blitz at this point. We do see the Substitute come out and the Energy Ball, which almost kills, and then the Dragon Dance. Now here we see a Dragon Dance into a switch, which makes sense considering the situation. It pains me to see it. It pains me to see it. Thunderbolt clears up the sub, but Godbear decides he doesn't want to test how much damage these Thunderbolts are going to do from this Porygon, so he switches into Donphan. It's a free switch. It's a ground type. Now we have Donphan v Donphan. Manaphy, yeah, Manaphy is really cool. It did just get banned in OU, but Godbear has it on his team, and he is unaffected by the OU bans because that's just the rules of the draft league. So lucky for Godbear. Why does Ditto fly in the pre-match line? Does it really fly? I've never noticed. If it didn't, it would get stuck to someone's shoe. It's very valid. Yeah, you get a Flare Blitz. You get a Flare Blitz. Not quite yet. We're not quite there yet. Yeah, the Donphan on Donphan violence. The Amorphous Blob is gone forever. The Don has to switch out because it's a Togekiss who gets huge damage off on this thing. That Dazzling Gleam was an excellent read. Granakila leaves the Togekiss out and Dazzling Gleams again for more great damage off on the Manaphy. But now the Manaphy's gonna start boosting, and that's the problem. Unless this thing crits, is it Super Luck? Maybe it's Super Luck instead of Serene Grace, but I doubt it because we saw Air Slash already. We'll skip forward a little bit. There we go. And then Dazzling Gleam, this lives on 1%, but can't set up a, like at this point, it can't set up another sub. Doesn't do quite enough damage to the Kiss and dies. Surprised we don't see Ice Beam come out there. Must not have had Ice, oh no, sub Energy Ball, call mine's called. We saw all the moves. Energy Ball for the, for Alligator, that makes sense. Manaphy is named Blue. That is a great nickname for Manaphy. I didn't even notice. I love Gnome Chomsky. I think Gnome Chomsky is like an elite S tier name for Alligator. Gotta imagine the fourth move on the Feraligatr was Waterfall, since it was Sheer Force Life Orb. I mean, unless it was Torrent, but I would be shocked if it was Torrent. I mean, I hope Granakila prep. I know it was Sheer Force. And Alakazam just cleans up from here. So there's that match. The next match we'll talk about is Spega. That's the Seattle Salacious Sparses. That's the all C tier team, the perspective we are watching from. Believe he was 1-2 coming into this match against Flying Grayson. That's the Pallet Town Paladins on the opposing side. Josh, I believe, was 2-1 coming into this match. Need to go into as deep as possible in this match. Well, let's watch and see what happens. So right off the lead, we see the Masquerain gets an Intimidate off on the Garchomp and gets up Sticky Webs, which, I mean, if you look at Josh's team, nothing on this team besides Gyarados likes Sticky Webs. Like, Sticky Webs is super annoying for this team. So Josh immediately goes into his Rapid Spinner, and doesn't die thanks to the Focus Sash, gets rid of the Sticky Webs, and the Sticky Web Setter's gone. So this is actually great for Josh. But Spega has had a chance to Shell Smash, but has to swap out because of the Gyarados. Cloyster is my boister. This is my favorite match of the week. Oh wow, that's high praise, William. We see oh, I'm sorry, I got a little behind. Metagross sets up the hazards. We see a Sun boosted Flame Charge not only boost speed, but get big damage off on the Metagross. Another Flame Charge to go +2 speed. Finishes off the Metagross. Now we have a really zoomy Ninetales. who can... The 49% to a Magmortar with a fire move is a lot. I know it was a crit and it's in Sun, but that was still a lot. Out comes the Hitmonlee, who is just a frightening Pokemon. Picks off the Magmortar, gets huge damage off on the Garchomp, and then goes down to an Earthquake. But Sun's up and Victory Bell's here, and that's just bad news. This Solar Beam, huge damage on the Gyarados, is gonna outspeed because of Sun, and able to get another Solar Beam off here, which is just gonna take out the Mighty. Intimidate does not matter to a Victory Bell. So Josh pivots into the Garchomp. We see the Gorbis come back out, eat this Outrage, just gone forever. And then Slay King comes in and takes out the Garchomp. Now he has to recharge on this turn. He's got 42% health. Can the Gyarados finish the job? I look for someone to raid and no one is online and you go live like I'm so sorry, Goldo. I went live at 2. That's what I said. I was going live, but welcome in. Welcome in. Hitmonlee is a very good bottom tier pick. Bigo went hard on speed boosting into smashing. Really did. So like I said, this thing needs to recharge. Can Gyarados finish the job? Can Gyarados finish the job? 1%. 1%. It is Choice Scarf. Not that it would have mattered. But I do think we did confirm because it was Choice Scarf because it outsped the Garchomp. But it was Choice Scarf, so it was locked in. Finishes off the Gyarados. And Spago moves up to 2-2. And is... Well, we'll get in the standings later. But very exciting match. Very exciting match. Because you have to imagine that the Gyarados can 1v1 a Victory Bell. So like this thing living on 1%, that was like what decides the game. So that was crazy. It was a great match. It was a great, yeah, Spago did a great job preserving his win cons. Welcome in Aaron and Stereo. Hope you're doing well. The Dose had Ice Fang. It would one-shot it. Yeah, so the Gyarados would have been able to finish off the Victory Bell. So this living on 1%, like this lacking just being an absolute unit is the reason Spago was able to pull this off. Also him doing a great job preserving his win cons for the end of the game. So great, well played by both coaches. Very well done for Spago, picking up his second win with his all C tier team. The next match we'll talk about is Call Me K, that's Chris, and the Pokemon Square Pikachus. That's the perspective we are watching from, against British Gent and the Darmanchester United club, which this was an exciting match for me coming into this because I'm pretty sure Chris was 2-1, Gent was 2-1. Chris is trying to take a division lead. Gent's trying to keep up with me. Good luck, friend. So let's see how this goes. So right off the bat, we see a really bad lead for Chris as the Electivire comes out. But instead of clicking an electric move, Gent opts to taunt. And then Wild charges into a Rotom Heat. Which, I wasn't expecting, I gotta be honest. Surprised we don't see an Overheat come out and just finish off the Electivire. Chris makes a good read and blocks the Volt Switch. So Gent goes into his Metal Bug, who just does an absolute fuck ton of damage with a U-turn to a Torterra. And U-turn, hold on, this play was so great by Gent. Gets huge damage, U-turns out into his ground immunity, and basically just entirely wastes Chris's turn. Very unfortunate for Chris. Gent's able to fire off a Fire Fang, which is huge damage to this. He's not willing to risk a Choice Scarf, Mr. Mime, and just take huge damage from his Salamence, so he switches into his Scizor. Chris makes a good double into Chris makes a good switch and a good double into the Rotom Heat, and then we see Overheat come out. So what's this tell us, right? This is most likely some kind of choice item. Just based on the fact that we saw no Overheat come out against the Electivire earlier. So pretty sure this is a choice item. Poor Turt, yeah. Poor Turt. Jen's team is gross. Jen's team is absolutely gross. Jen has one of the best drafted teams in the league. He did a very good job putting this team together. Chris goes into Skarmory, then doubles back into Torterra once again, who gets Will-O-Wisp and is now completely neutralized. Like, this thing can't do anything now. Like, this Arcanine is about to take, like, 3% damage, 4% damage from a Stabwood Hammer. I know our Reflect is up, but, like, it's just insane. Then we see the Quick Claw pop. This would have been super hype if this was, like, Curse. But still, like, Swords Dance, Quick Claws, it's fun. It's really fun. Love to see it. The Agility pops off for the Arcanine. Suicune comes out, so Arcanine has to switch out. Goes into Rotom Wash, who I think wins this exchange, personally. And Chris thinks the same, so switches out. Gent makes a good read and Volt switches from Momentum into Electivire, who also threatens the Suicune. So Chris is forced to switch out into the Rotom Heat, who takes 26% on a Wild Charge. And then clicks Overheat and finishes this off. Pretty sure this is choice specs. Like, that's a lot of damage. Like, that's a lot of damage. I only just realized Pot of Greed's name is missing the P, so it's Ot of Greed. Overtime of Greed. That's fitting. Overtime of Greed. Not doing much to the Skarmory, but Skarmory gets hazards up. Gent starts spinning him away. I mean, yeah, the thing. I'm surprised Chris doesn't take that opportunity to get hazards back up again. Even though I guess Gent could just spin on the next turn, so maybe just killing it was the right move. But then Skarmory dies to Rotom, so now your Defogger and Hazard Setter is gone because the Rotoms do not get Defog in this gen or in BDSP. That's a lot of damage. How about a little more? Overtime of Greed, my work live at the moment. Oh, I'm sorry. We see Flare Blitz and Suicune here. Did Arcanine lose Wild Charge in the BDSP meta? Calm Mind Suicune is a little spooky. I don't... Oh, but this just... Okay, so that just straight up outsped. So this was not sped crept Suicune. It just straight up gets outsped by Scizor. Unless that's Choice Scarf Scizor. Was that Choice Scarf Scizor? Gent, you're here. Was that Choice Scarf Scizor? I'm curious. Okay, that's spicy. That's spicy as hell. Alright, so it's Choice Scarf Scizor. You don't see that very often, especially because of Bullet Punch. So that's really spicy. It doesn't get Wild Charge. Wow, that's so lame. Absol getting huge damage with that knockoff. But Salamence comes in and just finishes it off. So really, really good win for Gent, moving up to 3-1. Chris dropped 2-2. The next match we'll talk about is myself, Starzard, all Vine City Volties perspective we're watching from against Talon Queen Zulia and the Polton Gengars. I was 3-0 coming into this match. Zulia was 1-2. Zulia looking to grab another win because in Zulia's division, a 2-2 record can lead the division. And I'm just trying to stay undefeated. So right off the bat, I decided to lead Torkoal. I don't see any reason not to lead Torkoal. Like, they have no way to punish a Torkoal lead. Like, the most punishing thing is Azumarill, and on max Fizz Def and Sun, this Azumarill can't do anything to my Torkoal. So Torkoal lead was always free for me. I predict the swap, get a huge knockoff on the Latias, and pick it off with Bullet Punch because Hariyama's the GOAT. I'm forced out here. Now here's the thing. This was specially defensive Bronzong, and I have Gyro Ball and Psychic on this thing. Zulia doesn't know this, but if Zulia clicks Belly Drum here, I can't kill this thing, and this thing dies to 2 Play Roughs. So, like, if Zulia clicks Belly Drum here, I'm in a really dangerous spot. The only thing is, I guess I could just go into Shift Tree and force this out, but, like, getting rid of my Bronzong with Azumarill is cool, but I guess I could see Zulia not wanting to click Belly Drum this early, especially when Shift Tree's just kind of there chilling. They do go for, like, a raw Play Rough, get the crit. I decided to just Psychic because I'm worried about Belly Drum, and I want to get as much damage off as possible. But then they go into Rotom Mow, so I start boosting. Discharge isn't doing much, but I got fully parried. I was a little nervous about getting fully parried into just losing my Bronzong, so I go ahead and pop the Resto Chesto a little earlier than I probably needed to, just to get paralyzed again. But Psychic does a ton of damage. We see the Salak Berry come out, which is really cool. I just like, I don't know how much Salak Berry makes sense with Thunder Wave. Salak Berry makes more sense with like a substitute Nasty Plot set. Just for future reference, because like Thunder Wave is speed control, you're already slowing down your opponents. Like Salak Berry really only helps with Nidoking, honestly. So I'm like, Salak Berry probably makes a little bit more sense with substitute, but I Gyro Ball, finish off the Rotom Mow. I am Levitate, so Earthquake doesn't do anything. Psychic takes this down to the Sash. Zulia makes the right switch and goes into Drapion for the Psychic. Now, I could have clicked Gyro Ball there, but I was worried about a Drain Punch coming out, because a Drain Punch into the healing, I was concerned that Gyro Ball wouldn't kill. I could have ran the Calc, but I didn't. So I just clicked Psychic. Zulia makes the good read, goes into the Scorpion. Just exactly 50%. And then Ice Fangs. They said it was a misclick. And honestly, that misclick kind of hurts, because that was a lot of damage for my Bronzong to get on this thing. But I don't think it would have mattered. I'm pretty sure Sheer Force Earth Power just kills this thing anyways. And the Nidoking basically just cleans up from here. I switch out when the Azumarill comes out in Torkoal, and just slowly wear this thing down with Solar Beams. Scarf Nidoking Part 2. Can't wait for Part 3. Yeah. What if they ran Sap Sipper to counter the Shift Tree? They could have. They totally could have. I mean, that would have been spicy as hell. That would have been spicy. That would have been the only way to wall the Shift Tree. Actually, Sap Sipper Azumarill would have been fucking hype. Oh my god, Sap Sipper Azumarill would have been so sick. It would have completely walled my Shift Tree. It would have completely walled my Shift Tree. Oh my god. Zulia, if you watch this and we have a week 10 matchup or playoffs, you need to bring Sap Sipper Azumarill. That would have completely walled my Shift Tree. That would have been so cool. Like, not even kidding. Just use bulky support Azumarill. Alright, next match we're going to talk about is Jazz. That's the perspective we're watching from. That's the Rockin' Rillabooms against St. Ridley and the Blackthorn City Buzzwoles. I believe St. Ridley was 2-1 coming into this. Sorry. I believe Ridley was 2-1 coming into this, and Jazz was 1-2. So let's see how this goes. Hey, Burrito, Whirlpool, Perish Trap, Sap Sipper, Azu would be so spicy. Also, welcome in. We see the taunt come out on this. Ridley doesn't want any of those substitute Will-O-Wisp shenanigans. Goes ahead and sets up a light screen and then switches out. Was surprised to see the light screen, but I guess they just wanted to make sure that the Steelix was protected from special attack. Steelix just... okay, look. Guys, can we seriously talk about this? Can we seriously talk about this? Like... Flygon? Why is Flygon? Why does Flygon even exist? Can't even... That's a light screen. That's not a reflect. That's a light screen. This Steelix just eats their... Like, why is Flygon even... Like, why? Why? It doesn't even, like, do... It hardly does 50% to something that is weak to ground and then just dies. Bye, Flygon. I don't even know why... Like, just... Why does it exist? Why is Flygon even a thing? It needs a buff so bad. Clefable eats the eruption behind a light screen, but we do see special Entei, which is fun. Special Entei is fun. Won't be the last we see of that special Entei. Ridley pivots into the Steelix to eat the Meteor Mash, gets another Crunch off, and just keeps spamming Crunch. I don't know if they're like going for like... A Circle Throw is crazy. I don't know if they're going for defense drops or making reads, but like... I'm surprised we don't just see Earthquake come out. Although this thing might not have even had Earthquake. It does have a gross defense stat, that's true, but Flygon is bad. Flygon's bad. Flygon won me a championship. Stop being a hater. No way, I hate Flygon. I hate Flygon. Not as much as I hate Mr. Mime. Or Quilladin. But I still hate it. Kingdra would work well as their dragon type. As whose dragon type? So we see the taunt earlier mattered because we finally see the Will-O-Wisp come out on the Steelix, but like at this point, like the Steelix has done its job, right? Like it's got so much chip off on things, and it took out the Flygon. Like Steelix has definitely done its job. Really preserves it for a sacrifice for later. Gets another burn off. So if this is physical Crobat, it just can't do any damage anymore. Yeah. I mean, with the Flygon gone, there is no electric resist, but like there aren't really any major electric threats on this team anyways. Kingdra could work well as their dragon type instead of Flygon. Oh. Yeah, I don't know Jazz's whole I'm trying to think off the top. No, Jazz dropped Mamo, so Jazz doesn't have a electric resist besides Flygon now, I don't think. Thunder Wave comes out, and then we see some Pain Split. So like the taunt on this Dusknoir like completely made it useless earlier, but now that it's not taunted, it can just fire off a bunch of stuff. But Ridley shows off Encore here, which is really cool, and then tries to go into Steelix to get that Pain Split recovery, which I thought was really fun play. But doesn't work out. Jazz is like, I'm not falling for that shit. Finishes off the Steelix and gets Weevil out here. Gallade lives a crit Night Slash, gets the Justified boost, and then gets all their health back. Not all of it, but a lot of it, and just kills the Weavile. Very, very unfortunate exchange there for Jazz. Dusknoir comes out, so we see a pivot into Cradily because Gallade doesn't want to get burnt. Ridley gets the I don't think I've ever seen a coach get so many Omni boosts from Ancient Power in a single season. That's like the second or third Omni boost Ridley's gotten this season from Ancient Powers. And we've seen this whole thing set now. Confused Ray, Giga Drain, Ancient Power, Leech Seed is just so annoying. It is so annoying. Like this thing is just frustrating. She manages to get the Leech Seed off before the substitute. So now this thing is just losing life with the substitute up. Not good for Jazz. In this particular instance. This thing just gets worn down. Giga Drain finishes this off. It's not looking good. Things are looking kind of scary. Jirachi comes out, Meteor Mashes for pretty good damage here. The Leech Seed does give a little recovery. But Jazz decides to just keep clicking Meteor Mash. She needs as much damage as she can get. Now she's confused, which not a good time. So she switches back out into Dusknoir, just goes ahead and lets this thing go down. That way, she can get clean into Entei, who we saw as special. Even though this thing is +1 special defense, you gotta think that it could kill that thing from here. St. Ridley thinks the same thing, so switches into Crobat, who just dies. Then Clefable dies. Then Azelf dies, but not before getting a light screen off, which is enough to save the day so that St. Ridley can finish this team off. You actually see the Flamethrower come out here instead of... This is actually an interesting play. You see the Flamethrower come out here instead of the Eruption. I think the assumption was that this was Choice Scarf. Gallade. But I think unless this was Choice Scarf Weavile, we should have already known that this was not Choice Scarf Gallade. So maybe that was Choice Scarf Weavile. But long story short, the light screen saves the day, and Ridley's able to finish off Jazz's team. Just don't get 2 Omni boosts in one game like Burley did last season. Flygon suffers a lot from the fact that it's not great and lives in the shadow of Garchomp, whom it shares a type combo with and who's just playing better. Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's just too frail. It's too frail. It just dies. I feel like it always just dies. Then the last match of the week, the natural, that's Mike in the Ohio Ninetales, who's still looking for his first win of the season. That's the perspective we're watching from, if I didn't mention it. Against Sergeant Mech and the Bettendorf Brawlers. And he came into this match 1-2. So Mike's trying to get his first win. Williams trying to go 2-2 because in his division, as I mentioned, 2-2 is enough to lead the division. In fact, at this point in time, if he 6-0s Mike, he actually takes first place in his division. So he needs a 6-0 here to take the lead in his division. That's what he's going for. Will he get it? Let's find out. Right off the bat, we see a boom. Nuke just explodes. Doesn't finish off the Whisk Cash, but does a pretty good amount of damage. And then gone, just gone. We see Whirlpool come out, so this is a Whirlpool Whisk Cash. Who protects for health? And Mike just decides, you know what, I'm just gonna nasty plot in your face. What are you gonna do to me? And then I'm gonna Blizzard and kill your dumb fish. Bye, fish. Fish is gone. But here, we see Choice Scarf. We see Choice Scarf Breloom come out. Puts the Rotom Frost to sleep. But we know this is locked in, so it's gotta switch out. He goes into Slowking, which was an interesting swap in my opinion, because there's an Aggron right there that just deletes this thing. And you have to assume it's Sturdy, although I suppose it could be Rockhead. Maybe it's Rockhead and he's worried about this thing waking up. So he goes into Slowking and just gets Chip off with Scald, which, I mean, that's fair. But then this thing wakes up and kills the Slowking. But then Breloom comes right back out, finishes this off with Bullet Seed. We do see the Salak Berry pop there. So, like, nasty plot Salak Berry Rotom Frost is, like, terrifying. However, I do think it just kind of dies to Mach Punch. So, like, I'm not sure how good of a bring Salak Berry was unless you wait to set this thing up for when the Breloom is dead. Because if you don't, honestly, the Breloom and the Honchkrow, because if that Salak Berry pops, you know you're below 25% health, and that's range for both the Breloom, and you gotta imagine the Honchkrow Sucker Punch finishes it off from there too. So, not sure that's a great matchup here without the sub. With sub, it works. Without the sub, I just don't think it works. And even with sub, it's still questionable if both of them are still alive. Anyways, Sergeant Mech gets Stealth Rocks up here. We do see the counter come out on the Blissey, so it was actually very fortuitous of Sergeant Mech to click Stealth Rocks instead of just going for damage there. And then the Mew set starts setting up. We see Choppleberry. V, thank you so much for the raid. I'm actually gonna rewind here so y'all can see, because this play's actually crazy. Also, let me give you a shout out. Welcome in, V, how are you doing? Hope your stream went well. Hope you're enjoying Pokemon Unite. Okay, this play's crazy. I rewound it so we could all see. We see the Crawdont come out, and instead of switching out, Sergeant Mech decides to start boosting. Choppleberry comes out, so he lives the knockoff from a Crawdont, a Life Orb Crawdont, goes +2, lives another knockoff, and this thing's outspeed. This thing without a crit cannot break the Mew at this point. It cannot break the Mew at this point. So the Mew just starts boosting. We still don't know what these other two moves are though. Like, does it, like what, you gotta imagine it has something to deal with this Crawdont. He's just gonna keep boosting, so we'll speed up. We see the X-Scissor come out. It is X-Scissor. It finishes that off, and then the Crest comes out. Then Sergeant Mech reveals it's also Light Screen, so it's not only physically bulky, it's also specially bulky. And I mean, this Mew's just gonna win from here. There's just nothing Mike can do against this Mew except for maybe time up a counter. But because of bulk up and Light Screen, it's hard for him to really predict when that counter needs to come out. So he just keeps clicking Thunderbolt, I think. Maybe he's hoping for Spadef drops or a Paralysis. And he does get some Spadef drops, but like it's not enough. The Mew's able to just finish this thing off. I'm surprised here's where we don't see like some counters start coming out. But X's are not doing quite 50%. So Sergeant Mech decides to max out his attack and defense. Gets another Light Screen up. And then starts firing off X-Scissors. Blissey goes down. Staraptor can't finish off the Mew. And Mew just finishes off the Staraptor. Doing okay, a lot of 50-50 wins, losses, and ranked today. Well, that's better than just a day of losses, so glad to hear it. Welcome in. Thanks for coming in, hanging out, and sharing your community with me. I really appreciate it. So that's all the matches. So let's get into the power rankings. Thank you for the follow. I really appreciate it. So here's the power rankings after week 4. The top 3 haven't moved. Number 12 hasn't moved. I mean, that's the top 3 teams all winning, doing what they're supposed to do. And Mike still hasn't found his first win, so he's still trying to find his way out of 12th on the power rankings. We see 2 big jumps with the Blackthorn City Buzzwoles and the Seattle Salacious Sparses both jumping up 3 slots. I think the Blackthorn City Buzzwoles jump had to do with less to do with who was in front of them on the power rankings and more to do with just their consistent play each week. She has consistently brought good threatening teams to every match this season. Even their one loss against me finished as a 2-0. So like they have played extremely well this season. And I think them jumping up 3 spots up to 4th was well deserved. And it makes sense that Chris would drop below because they're in the same division. Chris lost last week, so it makes sense that Ridley would leapfrog Chris here. Love life after online. Love cake and pie. Love coffee to drink. Love games and acting. Wow. Well, I love cake and pie and coffee to drink and games. I'm not acting though. I'm not a good actor. So I almost agree with you on all those fronts. So glad to hear it. Seattle Salacious Sparses jumped up 3 spots. I think the reason Spega jumps up 3 spots here has to do less with like an overwhelming spectacular performance. I mean, it was a great win from Spega, but like the 3 teams in front of him all lost. So they didn't just lose, like they kind of lost bad. So I think that's why Spega jumps up 3 spots here. And the big drop here was Jazz dropping down 3 spots. And again, Jazz didn't have a good week. And definitely, thank you for the follow, Pink Cats Gaming. I really appreciate it. Really suffered here because, people behind her won, like Spega won, Bettendorf Brawlers won. So like, it was just bad timing. So I think that's why we see such a far drop down here. Also, I wanted to mention the power rankings committee is now a 3-person operation. It's no longer just me and Josh. Godbear has decided to help out with power rankings. So this is now based off a 3-person average. So yeah, I think that's worth mentioning. So Godbear, thank you so much for helping us out with this. The next thing that we'll touch on before we get into Pokemon of the Week, because that seems to be the thing people usually look forward to most, we will touch on standings really quick. I know I haven't been doing this, but I'll do this today. We'll just scroll down here. We'll just take a quick look. In the Venusaur division, the Blackthorn City Buzzwoles is leading the way at 3-1. But this is a close division. Like all 4 of these teams can easily, like at this point the season's still early, like anyone can still make playoffs, but like this division is still tightly contested, particularly between these 3. But if Grand Aquila puts together a couple wins, like Grand Aquila's right back there in the mix. So love Halo. Y'all both love things. Love Halo series, love Big Juicy Apple and other fruits. I do YouTube and TikTok, and I live in Cancer. Interesting. Well, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. I appreciate it, and thank you for hanging out with us. The next division we'll touch on is the Charizard division. I am still undefeated. Will one of y'all beat me, please? Like, please. Someone just step up and just beat me. Please, sometime this season would be nice. And then following behind me is Derby and Chester United, British Giant, Godbear. I mean, they're both right on my heels. They are both right on my, and you did a great job, Ridley. You did a great job. You took me to the brink. They are both right on my heels. Like the second I lose, one of these two are gonna leapfrog me. So I shouldn't be pushing that so aggressively. I shouldn't be pushing that so aggressively because they are both on my heels. And Mike's still looking for his first win. But it's worth mentioning, Mike does have a completely randomized team, and he seems to be just trying to run fun, outrageous sets. He doesn't seem too he's not taking this serious. You know, he's not like super trying to win every week. He's just trying to have fun, and I respect the hell out of that. So I hope he does find his first win here soon. The last division we'll talk about, the Seattle Salacious Sparses. Has the tiebreaker lead over the Bettendorf Brawlers. They are both 2-2, but Spiga has the better differential. I'm calling it now. Oh my god, William beats Daria? Should be reported to be the same. I mean, he could beat me. Like, he is a crazy... Like, he always builds crazy teams, and it's hard to, The thing about battling William and the Bettendorf Brawlers is that you never know what he's going to bring. There's always going to be one or two sets that are just completely off your radar. Sometimes they're spicy as hell and just beat you, and sometimes they don't make any sense. So it's gonna see. I know, Assault Vasilis last season to tank an attack from my Dragapult and then kill my Dragapult was insane. Absolutely crazy. Absolutely crazy. And then overall seeding is actually interesting because the top 6 teams include the Pokemon Squad Pikachus, but because the Seattle Salacious Sparses are the division leader, they are guaranteed a playoff spot. So if the playoffs were to start today, the Sparses would make it and the Pikachus would not. So very interesting. Also, strength of schedule. I'm not going to get too into this, but I just wanted to say at a 9.8 strength of schedule, poor Zulia and the Pultonic Hangars, you cannot even blame them for being 1-3 at this point in the season, easily having the most difficult schedule up to this point. And now it is time. Oh, no, wait, hold on. One more thing. Where? There it is. The week 5 matches. We'll talk about the week 5 matches really quick, and then we'll reveal the Pokemon of the week. I don't want to be that person, but I think William versus me is probably the match of the week. Look, that's my boyfriend. We're head to head, and we, of all the teams playing, have the most combined wins of 6 total wins combined between the two teams. Thunder Nip 69, thanks for the follow, appreciate it. Hope you're doing well today. Gonna be some spicy matches this week for sure. Really looking forward to figuring out a scrim time with you and doing a run back of week 2 as a treat, Daria. Oh boy, you really want to run that week 2? I'm not really, I will not run back week 2 with you before playoffs. Sorry, I just won't. I'm not gonna give you any more intel than you already have. I'm just not doing it. Anyways, yeah, so William and I face off in week 5. Then the Ohio Ninetales versus the Rock and Rillabooms. Mike's still looking for his first win. Jazz reeling a little bit, also really needs a win. So both of these coaches really needing a win right now. Should be interesting to see how it plays out. See you in playoffs. Well, you gotta make it. You gotta make it. You gotta make it. But you're doing really strong right now. You're doing really strong right now. And yeah, I am helping Zulia this week. Zulia did message me and ask me earlier to help. Actually, last week asked me to help. The Chicago Phalanx versus Pokemon Square Pikachus. This should be a good matchup too, actually. Godbear is Godbear. Godbear has become an institution in this league. Godbear is always good. And one of the new coaches, Chris, who has looked really strong so far this season, actually looks like the team might match up pretty well against Godbear as well. So this is a really threatening matchup for the Chicago Phalanx. Will be interesting to see how that plays out. Gotcha. We'll sync up, Ridley. So I would love to do some scrims with you one week, and we can help each other prep. That sounds great. We'll sync up probably for week 6. I can't scrim with you, William. We're facing each other. Okay. Then we have Darmanchester United, British Gent, also kind of an institution in this league, versus the Pallettown Paladins. British Gent is 3-1. Josh is 2-2. This should be a good match. Josh has been very competitive in every match this season. And British Gent has just been dominating for the most part. So other than the loss to Zulia, his lone loss to Zulia. So this should be an interesting matchup. The Goldenrod Glizzy Gobblers versus the Seattle Salacious Sparsas. Grand Aquila really like in the need of a win right now. I know, again, Grand Aquila's just out here trying to have fun. Once again, respect the hell out of that. Really could use a win, and the All-C tier team is a good opportunity to pull that off. The problem is the coach of the All-C tier team is Spega, and Spega is a excellent team builder and coach. That is why he is leading his division, even with an All-C tier team. So this will be a good one. I hope Grand Aquila brings the spice this week against Spega. I wouldn't say dominating, unlike you. Yeah, you're the only coach in the league with a 6-0 win this season, British Gent. And then finally, the Blackthorn City Buzzwolves versus the Polton Gengars. That's St. Ridley versus Zulia. Zulia also really looking for a win, but poor Zulia, schedule not getting any easier. I did not get a 6-0. I did not get a 6-0. I think I may have 5-0'd once. I think I just 5-0'd Zulia, but I did not 6-0. Zulia killed my bronze song. That was the best I've done this season, though. Oh, did I also 5-0 Grand Aquila? I didn't know that. Anyways, the Blackthorn City Buzzles versus Polton Gengars. Poor Zulia, having the most difficult schedule of the year, doesn't get any easier this week. Has to go up against a 3-1 team. Zulia really needing a win. I just feel really bad for Zulia. Zulia's had such a difficult schedule so far this season. But I mean, like, at an initial glance, like 2 of the first 5 matches for Zulia was against new coaches. But both of these new coaches turned out to be really fucking good. So like this schedule went from being something that could have potentially been an easy schedule for Zulia to being like a nightmare of a schedule. But I believe in Zulia. I'm gonna help them prep this week, and we'll see what happens. And then finally, the Pokemon of the week. And I mean, I think we all know who this is going to this week. It's Mew. It's gotta be Mew. It's gotta be Mew with the 4 kills, the super fun. I mean, let's be honest. Bulk up, Roost, Light Screen, X Scissor is not a set you see very often on a Mew. Very creative set, very specifically tailored to the matchup, and was very effective, as we can see. So very good win for Bettendorf Brawlers and Mew this week. Mew looked really strong. Thank you for the Prime sub, Brian. 28 months. That is a lot of months. Also, hi, welcome in. See, I thought I was the Pokemon of the week. My actions result in all 6 of my team. Oh no. Oh no. And yeah, that's the recap. I know these recaps have been a little longer this year. Like traditionally, I try to keep them to 30 minutes. But we're spending more time talking about the matches this year, and more people seem to be into it. So I'm just gonna keep, doing the thing. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands right now. I'm just a little crab dance, I guess. But I like the longer recaps. Okay, good. Well, if y'all like the longer recaps better, then I'm just gonna keep doing them this way. I used to speed through the replays, but now we slow it down and talk about them a little bit more, and I think that's good, right? I think people want to hear. Especially some of the newer coaches, they want to hear what they did right. They want to hear what they can do better. So I think slowing it down works. I hate it. Change it. Shut up. Brian, you don't even care about the draft league. You don't even care. But yeah, so that's going to do it for the weekly recap. The stream is not over though. We will be doing some Pokemon Legends. So if y'all want to hang out for that, please do. I would love it if y'all would hang out with me while I play some Pokemon Legends. The game is amazing. Can we talk about that for just a second? Pokemon Legends Arceus is so good. It has exceeded my expectations. I'm having so much fun, and I cannot wait to dig back in and play some more here in a couple minutes. I do need to get it set up though. Soon you are gonna have a full hour-long shows with guest takes and predictions. I mean, that is something I would actually be open. Like, I don't know if you're saying that joking or serious or not, but like, I would love to have guests on. Like, if y'all wanted to start coming on, I could start bringing people on, and we could start doing interviews. Like, I could do like a coach of the week and bring in like the coach of the week, and do like a quick interview, ask a couple questions. I don't know if that's something y'all would like. Maybe we could add that segment in the future. It would just be a little bit more difficult because I would have to be able to coordinate with whoever the coach of the week was, with the, you know, the stream. But if y'all would like that, it looks like y'all seem to like that idea. If y'all like that idea, I'll see if I can start putting that together for future episodes. We'll see if week 5, if my deemed coach of the week is available for interview for when I plan on doing the weekly recap, I'll start doing that moving forward. I think you could do something like that, but for playoffs, we could do playoffs. Yeah, maybe we could do interviews for the playoff coaches. But either way, that's gonna do it for this segment of the stream. Thank y'all who hung out for this, and those that want to hang out for Pokemon Legends. Again, really appreciate it. Bye YouTube. Please subscribe, like, leave a comment.